body knowledge that this transmits is beyond even like me, because some of the patterns we'll find here existed in all sorts of other fields of study. So that's why it's kind of cool. I was spinning a long time, and I was making patterns but not really understanding how they interconnected in more ways, and I just decided to really put a lot of thought into it. And at that point I had a partner, and I would like ignore her and sit downstairs with my buddy and waste a ton of time thinking about this thing, and like pass out on the couch and he'd pass out down there, and I just spent all this time thinking about this thing, and ultimately it yielded like ideas of how to think about the patterns we do already. And it was just based on a lot of Nick Woosley's work kind of in the early days, and also based off my friend Greg, who's no longer around. We kind of thought a lot about some of these things pre-VTG, I guess. And it's called Vulcan Tech Gospel for a reason, because I lived at a warehouse called the Vulcan. I did tech, and ironically I've been going to and teaching at Catholic schools my entire life. So it was sort of like a funny pun on my life at that point, which I was teaching Catholic schools doing tech. The first of the Trinity is what we call timing and direction. Maybe you guys have heard of this before, but I'm just going to write them down and then we'll explain. Timing and direction refers to how two objects can move through space. The next part of this would be patterns, which look like this, like the shapes that we create. Okay, that's like, so there's the timing direction, how our arms moving around, the shapes that are made from them. So I call this shapes or patterns. And the last component of VTG is snapshots, or like crop facing things, like the instantaneous look of a pattern when it passes a specific moment in its pattern. Okay, so because one of the main things about VTG is that it's not really cool. Any of these things all by themselves are kind of like not that interesting. Right? Like if you think about it, like going like this, or like that's time direction, not so interesting. Snapshots, like, is not that interesting, and shapes and patterns are cool, but they don't really have a lot to show you. The reason to learn these patterns is what all three of these areas will help us get closer to a main thing, which is the core dogma of VTG is transition theory, how it can move between one pattern to another. And some of the other sort of VTG work that's been done, for example, some of the elaborate drawings of Lorix are based upon trying to understand transition theory. Right? If you've seen those drawings, they're an attempt to understand it in a concrete way. All these things together create the patterns you do, and the better you understand all three things, the better you'll be able to move between the things you know.